everyone, welcome back to another segment of Young, Dumb, and Thriving. Today you are here with your host, Charmaine, and a very special guest of mine, my designer, my sister friend, everything to me, okay? Althea Danoo. So Althea, go ahead and tell us background of yourself.
Well, I started designing in 2002-ish maybe. Graduated in 2004. Stopped for a while, then went back to design school. So now I'm fully designing since 2017.
All right. And can you tell us a little background of when you were growing up?
Well, some may know, some may not know that I was adopted. So as a young child, I grew up in foster care. And then I was adopted at the age of 16. And then from there, I'm kind of an adult now.
Yeah. And I just want to say I've known her for years, like literally since I think I was like 13, something around there, like 12, 13. And I never knew that about her because she doesn't even give off the vibes of negativity or nothing. She's always loving, shining, smiling, everything. And so I want to just go a little bit into that because a lot of times there is a stigma of like people who are raised in the foster care system and then get adopted from them. They always sometimes have like a negative perspective on life. And so I want to know how you turned your bad to good.
As a child, I always wanted my life to be different.
Okay.
I have two children. I have a 10-year-old son, and I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I always want to set the example for my children. So even though I grew up a certain way, I don't want my children to ever experience that. Mm-hmm. So that kind of was a key factor of changing generations.
Yeah.
So with breaking generational curses, I just wanted to do something different with my life.
Yeah.
Because I look at a lot of my family members on both my birth mom and birth dad's side, and that's just not how I want my life to be. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I just made it a point to do something different and just be different and set the example for my children. Like even on my dad's side, I was the first to graduate.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So
yeah,
I just want to keep being the first
to do it all. So are you the first in your family to start a business then?
That I'm not sure, but I do know graduation, college, yes. I'm the first.
Awesome.
Yes.
So when you were in the foster care, how did that impact your life? Did it impact it positively or negatively?
I would say both.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as children, we all have our own trauma that we have to deal with personally.
Yeah.
Whether it's minor or
severe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it did both, because it led me in the direction to want to do different, want to be different. So, yeah. Yeah,
so would you say that your adoptive parents, would you say that was a blessing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so how were you raised in their home?
Absolutely. Well, both my adoptive parents were military. So,
okay.
Army. So, you know how that goes, strict. Yeah.
Crack down the whip on you. Okay, you better get it together. And because they got you when you were 16 years old, right?
Yes.
So was it challenging being adopted at that age?
At first I was a little, insecure about it, embarrassed about it, but then as I became an adult and realized who God said I was, it's different.
Right.
So it's like now I can just easily tell my story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thank God that I was adopted.
Yeah.
Because like I said, before, looking at some of my family members, like cousins and things like that on my birth parents' side, I don't want my life to be like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a blessing. We don't know why God does things until later when you have time to really sit and think about it. And it was a blessing. So I'm grateful. So,
right.
I've learned a lot, and I've always been taught, to have your own, be something, do something. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, do you know your adoptive parents?
I do.
Or
I do.
No, not your adoptive
My
parents.
birth parents.
Your birth parents.
Yes, I know them. Yes.
Okay, so do you have a positive relationship with them?
Yes,
Okay.
I met them both when I was an adult.
Okay.
I love them,
Yeah.
you know, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Right.
You know, God knows all things, so I don't question God in that. But yeah, I talk to them, I know them. Yeah.
That's awesome. I just love your viewpoint on it because literally I've known people before, you guys, no joke. I've known people before that have been in her situation and they actually have resentment, you know, and what advice would you give to someone, because there's a lot of people out there who are in the foster care system or have been adopted. What advice would you give to somebody going through that right now?
Don't give up on dreams. There's a reason for everything. You might not understand it now, but later God will reveal, because he reveals everything.
Exactly.
So, yeah, just don't give up. Don't give up.
You gotta
Even
have
though
that faith.
It looks like it's far.
Yeah.
Still keep going. Yeah.
So with that being said, let's talk about your decision to start your own business and the decision to become a designer.
Okay.
First of all, why design? Why?
Well, design because when I started college, I actually was going for nursing.
Okay.
And so, you know, being a young college student, you want to party too.
Yeah.
So me and my girlfriends would always party. So with always partying means you always shopping.
Right.
Buying clothes. So, you know, back then the thing was Forever 21, Charlotte Russe. We didn't have Fashion Nova and all that.
Yeah.
We had Forever 21, Charlotte Russe. And so, my personality is, I don't want to wear something that somebody else has on.
Yeah.
So every time I would buy an outfit, I would cut it up, I would change it, I would make it different. Because I didn't want to be in the club.
Right. With somebody else wearing your same outfit, that is embarrassing.
Looking like somebody else. So my friends would be like, why don't you go to school for design? So I said, I didn't think about it.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay. So then I researched and I found a school in San Diego. And I thought my parents would be upset, but they actually weren't.
Really?
And yeah, because you go from nursing to
design. It's
so
like, wait, why the switch?
Yeah. So when I say I enjoy going to school every day, I enjoy going to school every day.
That is awesome. Yeah. So you completed school, like you said, in 2004?
Yes.
So how come it took you from 2004 to 2017 to start up?
The fear.
Okay. That's real.
The fear. The being scared of, I don't want to be a failure if I start this and it doesn't go how I pictured or how I dreamed it would be. So that honestly, that was my hang up.
Yeah.
It was just the fear of thinking if I start something, what if it fails? Because you see a lot of times people start a business and then you'll see a couple of years later going out of business.
Right.
So I never wanted that to be my business.
Right.
So that was just
So how did you get the courage to get over that fear? Oh, hold on. Her son's shirt is faith over fear. Okay, so let's talk about the faith you had to walk through for that. Let's talk about it.
So, honestly, one day I was at church and my prayer was like, God, just help me. Like, I don't want to start these businesses because, you know, as a creative person, you don't just have one business. You have multiple. Several things going on in your mind at the same time. So, I just I said, help me with this. And I just got a prophetic word that was, God's waiting on you.
Right.
He's just waiting on you.
Yeah.
So then when it really clicked, like about, this is 2021?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Like it really clicked like, no, he is waiting on me.
Right.
Because he's not going to give me this gift. And if he gives me the creative idea to do it, he's going to make it manifest.
Right. And launch it.
Yeah. So that's just kind of
where you're at.
Yes.
Right. And so let's talk about, when Elijah was born so that we can discuss you being a single mother.
Okay. So my son was born in 2010.
Okay.
And the whole idea with coming up with Drummer Boy apparel was because every time I would go in the store to try to find him an outfit,
they didn't have one.
The selection was just very small.
Right. Especially for boys.
And all you see a whole rack of girl stuff.
Right.
And just keep toe boy stuff. So I'm like, no.
Right.
Let me create something for him. And we happened to be at church, and at this time my son wasn't even 1 yet. I think he was like, maybe he was between 8 or 10 months. And he was down and he was playing like the little drums with his hands. Yeah. And I said, oh my God, that's the name. Drummer Boy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's how I came up with the name. And so when I started it, my son was young, so I just would do
bow ties. I remember you doing the bow ties.
So I would just do little bow ties, because I would always dress him in bow ties and little hats.
Yes.
And so, you know, years went by, I kind of just let it just sit and, you know, not do anything with it. And then, like I said, I went back to school. But this time when I went back to school, I went for accounting. Okay. Because all my jobs that I had somehow were related to accounting. So I said, okay, why not get the paper to match my experience? Yeah. So I said, okay, and I like money too. So I went to school for accounting. So then, even with accounting, you have to take some business classes. Okay. So then that's when I kind of got back into, okay, let me do this business again. Right. So then I just prayed and asked God how to revamp it. Yes. How to make it to where it can grow with him, because I started it when he was young. Baby. Yeah. Right. So I can't do that now because he's now 10. Old. Right. So he gave me the idea to have my son create the shirts. So,
and now he creates the shirts. And I just want to say I love these shirts. And the thing that I love most about it is, one, because I personally know Elijah, but two, because he's a young man creating these shirts, not really understanding why he's doing it right now, but eventually it's going to click. But man, when I tell you, that boy is on a roll.
Yes, like, and every shirt, he handwrites it. Exactly. So it's his actual handwriting.
And that's what I feel like is the most sentimental part to the clothing line, is him physically writing this out and then it just being printed on the shirt. Yes. So why did you feel it was important to have your kids have businesses?
Because I want my kids to have something. I don't want them to be like me, work for somebody for like 20-something, 30-something years. Right. I want them to have their own. I want them to have their own legacy. So that was really the main thing, just teaching them, you know, what my parents taught me. Right. Have your own.
Right. So why is it important for you for them to have a legacy?
The way this world is set up, you need to have your own. and that's just real. That's the honest truth. Yeah. Like, I could die tomorrow, and I want my children to be able to have something. Yeah. I don't want, you know, God forbid, if my parents have to help with my children, have to struggle and all that.
So you're basically creating their own income for their setup. I love that. Yes. And do you feel like your childhood influenced your ideal on life?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and why is that?
Absolutely. To be honest, I think that another reason why I shop so much and bought clothes so much, because, you know, being in different foster homes, you're not treated, you know,
fairly.
Yeah. So a lot of the times I would always me and my siblings would always wear hand-me-downs, Goodwill clothes. Like, we never were able to someone take us to a store and buy us brand new things until I got adopted. That's when I experienced, like,
that life,
the newness, you know. So I think a lot of that has to deal with the fact that I love clothes and shoes and all things that kind of played a part into the whole
and that actually
fashion design thing. So
and that matches with how you create your clothes. Because what style of clothing do you like create? Let's talk about it, because I already know. I'm her model, okay? I already know what she likes.
I love anything couture. Yes. Evening wear, bridal wear. I love it. Anything that is just beautiful, I love it. Like, I love things that look different, that are not the same, that are out the box. Yes. Yeah. So.
Did you make that piece that you're wearing?
You know, I'm not going to come on
exactly, and not rep your own stuff, right? So how come you created that piece the way you did with two different type of patterns?
I did because if you want to switch it around, you can switch it around. Right. Like, I wanted my pieces to be classic, not only classic, but versatile. So this is kind of more of my casual things. Like when before I started doing evening and formal wear and stuff like that, I did casual pieces. And this is actually one of the first ones that I did.
Right, and it looks so
it's reversible.
I like
so you can switch it.
Yeah, she said, "Let me show the back. Let me show the back." Right, and then you did the bracelets. Is the jewelry?
Oh yeah, so yes. Some of them.
Okay.
Actually, my husband is from Ghana.
Okay.
So he actually gave me these on my hand.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, why not create like cute little inspirational bangles or bracelets to go with my son's t-shirt.
Right.
You know, like I said, when you're creative, you think of all kind of things.
Yeah, and that's what makes the business greater. So let's talk about who is one of the designers. Like, what designer do you look up to or you feel a little bit inspired by?
Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel, y'all. She said that fast every single time. Coco Chanel.
Coco Chanel.
And why is that?
Because for one, she's a woman.
Okay.
Anything women empowerment, I'm for it.
Yes.
And she made a mark. And not only did she make a mark as being one of the first women to change fashion design, but her stuff is classic.
Yes.
It's timeless. Like, even though she's passed, like, people are still buying her stuff. And they've been buying her stuff for years. Like, you can go into the store now. You can pull out your grandma's Coco Chanel if you want to and wear it. And it's still, like, a banger, like, you slaying, like, for real, you fire.
Right. And so that's where you
so I want all my pieces to be something that, even though it came out in 2019 or 2021, you can wear it in 2025, 2030, you know, whenever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want my pieces to be classic and timeless.
That's amazing. So let's talk about 2 words that you feel best describes you.
Bold.
Oh. Okay. And that was bold how she said it too. Oh, that was quick.
Bold and unique.
Why?
That's just the way God made me. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
are you bold in the type of like your clothes and your personality?
Clothes, my personality, my hair. Like, if you talk to my friends, they're like, she is crazy. Yeah. But I am a ball of fun.
Yes, exactly.
But at the same time, I love Jesus.
Right. Should minimize it a little bit.
But yeah, bold and unique.
I love that.
Yeah, so.
And I honestly, you could see that in her clothing line. Obviously, I'm definitely going to have pictures of her clothes. And like she said, it's so high fashion, couture, anything. And honestly, there was one dress that I am going to post that I just did a photo shoot with this year. But she created it. When did you create the see-through?
That was for New York Fashion Week.
New York Fashion Week.
2019.
2019.
And this I made in 2016.
Right. So. And years later, you're still wearing it. You can still do a photo shoot on it. And I'm telling you, it's incredible. Her clothing items are incredible. So can you give the audience a little background on your actual business? Like, what do you more focus around proms, anything, so that they know if they can contact you?
Formal, yes. Formal, bridal. I do non-traditional bridal. I'm not traditional at all. Yeah.
And we'll put some of her work there, too, so that you guys can see it.
Yeah, so my website is still under construction, but it is www.beadorn.com. Okay. You can also hit up my son's. Right. www.drummerboyapparel.com.
Awesome. Yes. So Althea, I just want to say thank you so much. You. And I'm just, first of all, I feel blessed and honored that you even shared your story on my talk show, and 2, that you came on my talk show. So thank you. And like I said, I love you too. And I've been working with her since 2013, but I really want to honor her right now because when I first came back from the military and being stationed out here, I had freshly had my children. So I'm pretty sure my daughter was like 9 months when I first started, and my son was like 1. And you know, she stopped me in church and she's like, "You're back? Like, you're back? I said, "Yes, I am back." And she goes, "Yeah, so we need to get together and do these pictures because I need you to be my model." And I was like, She was like, no, you're going to do it because you got it in you, you know? So we started doing it. And honestly, this is what gave me the confidence to start modeling, is the fact that you pulled me aside and you really believed in me. And every single time we did photo shoots together, they were incredible. And I just want to say thank you so much because you put that fire in me. You put that confidence in me. And like she said, she's such a ball of fun. She's bold. She's unique. And she instilled that in me too. without even telling me. Right. She brought it out more, you know, because I was really scared and nervous. And like when you gave me your clothes, you were like, here, this is what you're going to wear. And just the fact that her clothes are so amazing, it made me feel better, you know, not wearing some stiff something that I'm like can't move and can't do nothing in. But literally, I just want to say thank you for that. And thank you to you guys for watching another episode of Young, Dumb, and Thriving. Make sure to check out her stuff.
Thank you.
Audio Jungle.